Hey people of YouTube, Nick here, and this is a video that I've kind of wanted to do for a little bit of time now. You know, with the season approaching quickly, I figure I'm going to sim a season with each team, or at least, some of the higher ranked teams, or even some teams that people would suggest in the comments. First up is going to be Alabama, because, Crimson Tide's my team. That's who I've always been a fan of ever since I was a little kid, since the Jay Barker days, the Sherman Williams days, the Sean Alexander days. Now, a lot of people know who those guys are. But yeah, we're going to get into it. I am not coaching anything, I am not recruiting. It's all set to auto. All I am doing is simulating the games and giving my thoughts on each game. Like week one here with Florida State. And according to College Football 26, Alabama should win this game. A lot of people think they should win this game in real life too. So, yeah, let's get into it. First game of the season. Let's simulate it and go to the next week. All right, Ryan Williams was the SEC Player of the Week against Florida State. 10 catches, 141 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Wow. Kind of wondering here. So let's go to team schedule, see what the score was there. Alabama 45, Florida State 20. I could see that. I could see that in real life because I feel like Florida State's going to give Bama a little bit more of a challenge than people are expecting, but Bama is going to be a little too much. The question mark is going to be Ty Simpson, the quarterback for Alabama, and if he goes off in real life like he did in this game, those questions won't be answered. Good Lord, 368 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jam Miller, 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. There you go. And Ty had a rushing touchdown. Uh-oh. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh. So, Bama gets through week one, and now going against Louisiana Monroe, week two. Well, obviously, oh no, they're just still doing Florida State. But week two, Louisiana Monroe, yeah, should be an easy win. I say that, but in Nick Saban's first year, Bama lost to Louisiana Monroe. So anything's possible. All right, Bama's 2-0. Look at the schedule here and see how that one went down, 41-3. Yeah, that's about what I would expect. Let's see, Ty Simpson, another 300-yard performance. This game, he was solid. Completion percentage, really good. They're not doing too bad. Jam Miller had 76 yards. Dre Washington had 100 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Ooh. And Ryan Williams, another 100-yard game. Well, they're gonna, if the receiving core goes off like this year, that team's gonna be, Alabama's gonna be very good. Yeah, next game is Wisconsin. So, looking at it, Wisconsin, last year Bama went in there and played them in Madison and got the win in a somewhat dominant fashion. Early on, it was kind of a close game, but then Bama started to pull away. So I kind of expect the same thing this year for this game. I think Bama's got it, and we'll see what College Football 26 says. Okay, going to it. Bama is 3-0. What was the score? 35-33. Ooh, that one was close. Wisconsin gave Bama everything they could handle and more. Let's see. Ty Simpson, 471 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Okay. If Ty Simpson legit comes out and just goes off like this in real life, it's going to give me 2020 Alabama vibes. Because Ty Simpson to me is a more mobile Mac Jones. That's just my opinion. Um, Running game didn't really do much, but I mean, when you got your quarterback throwing for over 400 yards again, wow. Ty Simpson and Bama's passing game leading the way. That was a little close though, but yeah. So I wish you could like just simulate from the team schedule like in the old days, but we'll go ahead, simulate bye week here. Bama gets a nice little off week after starting 3-0, and then ooh, they got some recruits. Again, I'm not recruiting, I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just simulating for the season to see how it goes. Oop, the big matchup. Number 3, 3-0 Georgia versus number 5, 3-0 Alabama. This one's going to be in Athens. Georgia, look, I'm going to be real. I think Georgia is going to be very difficult to beat in Athens. And they are going to want revenge for last year's classic in Tuscaloosa. I don't know. This one's kind of 50-50 for me. I feel like Bama can win, but Georgia's going to give them everything they can handle and more. Again, Georgia's just like Alabama. They have quarterback questions. If their quarterback can deliver, then their team's going to be really, really good. So let's go ahead and sim the game and see how it turns out. Well, 3-1. So Bama lost to Georgia in Athens. Again, I could see it. I don't know if it's going to be a 33-10 kind of thing, but see how it turned out for Bama. Ty Simpson, another 300-yard game, but his worst game. He threw 2 interceptions and had a 42% completion percentage. Jam Miller, yeah, running game's non-existent. That's going to be a problem in real life if Bama can't get a running game going this year, especially with an inexperienced quarterback. They're going to have some problems on offense. I don't care how good the defense is. I don't care what anyone says. You have to be able to run the football still in college football to win. And I said a lot of football there. Okay, now is Vanderbilt. Ooh, Vandy. And everybody remembers the upset last year, Diego Pavia and Commodores. Yeah, this one's Alabama wants revenge. It's going to be in Bryant-Denny. Can they stop that option attack at Vanderbilt? Because they couldn't last year, and I'm not 100% sold that the defense can this year. We'll see. I'm hoping it can. So, yeah, let's get to it. Let's see how Bama and Vanderbilt goes down for 2025. Well, they got the victory. They're 4-1. Now let's see what this record was. Score was 42-30. Okay, I could see that. That could be a realistic type of score. And let's see, Ty Simpson coming back from that Georgia game with another freaking unbelievable performance. Dude, that's Heisman type numbers right there for a quarterback. Jam Miller bouncing back, finally getting some stuff going in the running game. And yeah, receiving corps doing its thing. Next up is Missouri, who is 22nd in the country in this. They're also 4-1. That's another team that, again, it's one of those things of, on paper, Bama should have the talent to win. Missouri is a good team. They are a competitive team. So anything's possible. And the SEC is the SEC. It's one of the top conferences in the country. I will say it's the top conference in the country. But that's just me. There's going to be people arguing with and mentioning Big Ten, with the defending national champions being Ohio State and everything. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to this next game and simulate ahead. Will Bama get Missouri? No, they will not. Ooh. So they're 4-2 going into the Tennessee game. What was the score to that game? Oh, that was a 1-point loss to Missouri, 35-36. Okay, so Ty Simpson, not the greatest game. He kind of struggled a little bit, it looks like. Still had positive touchdown numbers, but the yardage wasn't as great as it has been. Jam Miller had his best game of the year, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, receiving core, everything seems to be, offense seems to be going good, but the defense kind of isn't doing that great. And now we come into this game with Tennessee, and Alabama is 4-2. Tennessee's 4-2. In real life, Tennessee lost their quarterback from the year before, and while they did get a good transfer in, I'm not sure they're as good of a team as everyone's kind of putting them over as. It's still the third Saturday in October. It's still Tennessee versus Alabama, and I think it'll be competitive. But I'm giving the edge to Bama in real life. What does College Football 26 say? It says Bama got the victory in a blowout, 56-21. Bama destroys Tennessee. Let's see the stats. Ty Simpson, another freaking amazing game, 380 yards, 5 touchdowns and an interception. Look, if Ty Simpson plays like this in real life with that receiving core, I would be happy. And Jam Miller getting some running in. That's what I want to see, a balanced offense this year. Look, I love Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe was a solid quarterback, and I hope he has a great career with the Seattle Seahawks, but he just did not, he was not the guy that was going to fit the type of offense that Bama needs. We need a balanced attack, and I feel like Ty Simpson or either one of the quarterbacks backing him up can do that. Bama and South Carolina. The Gamecocks have a lot of hype this year, and rightfully so. They return a very good football team, and right now College Football 26 has them 6-1 coming into this game. Bama's 5-2. Can Bama get the victory in South Carolina? We're fixing to find out. No, Bama loses the tough one to South Carolina. So at this point, if Bama is 5-3, the playoffs are done. And they lose 31-21 to South Carolina in a kind of good victory for the Gamecocks. Ty Simpson struggles again, has a bad game. That was his second bad game. The other one was against Georgia like that. No running game, but Jay Miller still got 2 touchdowns. Offense is kind of hit and miss right now. Like, sometimes it's playing great and sometimes it's not. They get a bye week this week, so a lot of the players get to rest and we get to head into the next week of the schedule. Again, I'm not recruiting, so if they don't sign any real recruits, that's not on me. Ooh, here we go. So at this point of the season, Bama is 5-3, LSU is 4-4. Essentially, they're both eliminated from the playoff, unless something, and the SEC championship. So this one's basically for bragging rights. In real life, I expect both these teams to be competing for the playoff and this be kind of an eliminator game, so to speak. Bama dominated LSU last year. I'm not sure they'll dominate them again this year, but let's see what College Football 26 says. It says they're going to recruit. Bama's getting some recruits, okay. Bama's getting some recruits. And Bama got the win over LSU. They're 6-3 now. They're bowl eligible. And they get to play Oklahoma, another team that beat them last year. But let's look at that LSU game real quick before we get on to the next one. 56-28. So Bama's 2 rivalry games so far, Tennessee and LSU, they have dominated both teams. Ty Ty Simpson, another solid performance, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And running game, Jam Miller had 4 touchdowns on the ground. Ooh. Ryan Williams is having a great game. Bama's offense, when it's good, apparently it's really good. When it's bad, it's not doing that great. But here we go, Oklahoma. So last year at this point, when Bama went into that game against Oklahoma, a lot of people were expecting Bama to get the win, and man, did they kind of they sold. And I was at that point thinking, hey, we got a playoff team, we got a really good shot, and then they just went out there and fell asleep basically against Oklahoma. And I'm saying that in a family-friendly way. I could really say more and cuss like a sailor, but yeah. So what will College Football 26 say they get this year? Because I think Bama gets the win in the rematch in Tuscaloosa this year. What does College Football 26 say? College Football 26 says Bama gets the win to go to 7-3 in SEC Player of the Week. And National Player of the Week. Ooh. All right, so what was the score of that game with Oklahoma? 42-28. So Bama gets revenge against the Sooners. Ty Simpson, solid performance again. I need to check the Heisman real quick, see what he's doing. Jam Miller with a good performance. Ryan Williams having his normal day. I think he's going to go off this year, especially if Ty continues to play great and lives up to what we are expecting him to. Yeah, FCS Midwest. We'll go ahead and check the Heisman watch real quick because I want to see if Ty Simpson's in that. Nope. Okay, cool. Let's look at the playoff bracket. Don't think Bama's in right now. No, right now it's Georgia, USC, Missouri, and Clemson. Ooh, look at that. Anything can happen. Bama has to finish strong, though. And this is going to be a cupcake win. Shouldn't even really worry about it. I kind of just go ahead and skip over it. I'm not even going to look at the stats on it. Obviously, Bama goes to 8-3, and now the Iron Bowl. So if Auburn is 5-6 coming into the Iron Bowl this year, then their coach Hugh Freeze has been fired. I think if Alabama is 8-3 coming in the Iron Bowl this year, Kalen DeBoer might be in some trouble too. Yeah, this one's. Ooh. I think Bama gets it again, but in Jordan here, anything's possible. They've got some crazy magic over there. You know what? I'm gonna look at the score of that game. I want to kind of see what they did. 45-6. Tie. Solid game again. Yeah, kind of figured. Bama is going into the Iron Bowl ranked 15th in the country and 8-3. Will they get the victory in the Iron Bowl and get to 9 wins? Let's find out. Oh, yep. They got the victory in the Iron Bowl. Bama is 9-3. Let's go look at that schedule. See what that score was. 27-21. Yeah, that's about what I think the Iron Bowl is going to be this year. Something like that. Ooh. Ty had a pretty good game. Solid performance. Running game, not really existent. Receivers, yeah. Offensively, this... Yeah, okay. So when Kalen DeBoer led Washington to the College Football Playoff National Championship game, they had great quarterback play and great receiver play. I feel like this team could be something like what he's used to having, and we could see a big step up. But okay, let's look at the playoff bracket here because it's Week 15. Right now, Georgia, Clemson's number 1, Penn State, Ohio State. Look at that. Oh man, I'm gonna go ahead and skip this week. It's bye week. Get ahead. I think we're going into the conference championship week. Yep. Get ahead, get that done. But according to College Football 26, Bama goes 9-3 in the regular season again. If that happens again, Kalen DeBoer is probably not going to be happy. Jeremiah Smith wins the Heisman. And with those stats, especially the 20 touchdowns, I believe it. And Bama gets to play North Texas in the Las Vegas Bowl. Oh my God. What? Huge job offers. Did they fire Coach DeBoer? No, I'm not going to look at that. But let's look at the playoff bracket real quick before we go to our bowl game. So, okay, Georgia went undefeated. Miami's the number 2 seed. Clemson 3. Penn State. Yeah, that looks like a pretty solid playoff. Kind of wish Bama would have been in it, but you know, College Football 26 doesn't think Bama's going to do that. I think we're going to the bowl game with North Texas, who Bama should just completely annihilate. Yep, 10-3. Got the bowl game victory. Las Vegas Bowl, though, I'm not sure about that one. I don't think Bama would accept a role in the Las Vegas Bowl. 45-21 victory over North Texas. I feel like that one would be a little bit more of a blowout. Ty Simpson finishes the season on a very, very high note. Ryan Williams does a great job. Let's go look at the stats for the season real quick, and then we'll, you know what, let's simulate to the end of the playoff. All right, national championship week. Let's see who the national championship is. Whoops. Real quick before we get into that. Penn State and Oregon, 2 Big Ten teams. Wow, Penn State got Georgia. USC. Okay. Now, let's look at the team real quick, look at the stats for the season, and we'll simulate the national title game and get it over with. So, if Ty Simpson does this in real life, has a 68% completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 39 touchdown passes, and 9 interceptions, and Bama goes 9-3, then there's got to be something that just did not work out. He also had 5 rushing touchdowns. Cam Miller had 14 rushing touchdowns and 924 yards rushing. Receiving, as you can see, Bama's receiving core with Horton, Williams, and Bernard. Yeah, I feel like those 3 guys are going to go off this year. So, okay. We're going to go back and look at the schedule real quick. And I'm going to give my opinion on everything. I think Bama is going to be 3-0. I do agree. I do think they get a loss to Georgia, but I believe they beat Vandy, Missouri, and Tennessee. South Carolina isn't a 50-50 game. I think South Carolina and Georgia are both 50-50 games. LSU also. I think they get Oklahoma, they get Auburn, and the FCS team if they play one. I'll have to go look at that schedule later. But I believe Bama's actually going to go. It says 10-3 for College Football 26. I think they're going to probably be anywhere from 11-1 to 10-2, depending on how those Georgia and South Carolina games go. But yeah, let's go ahead and simulate that national championship between Oregon and Oregon and Penn State, and see who wins that. and it was Penn State beating Oregon 35-24. I'm not sure about that one, but we'll see. But okay. One more time, look at the schedule. Bama goes, according to College Football 26, Alabama goes 10-3, with losses to Georgia, Missouri, and South Carolina. The rest of the way, they just get some wins, and apparently they end up in the Las Vegas Bowl. I think Bama goes probably like 10-2 to 11-1, depending on Georgia and South Carolina, like I said. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? What do you think Alabama's record will be for the 2025 season? Let me know down in the comments. And that's the end of the video. I will see you later, people of YouTube.